Hi Sagittarius, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. I'm just dropping ink for your mid-November ink blot. You're welcome to utilize the timestamps below if you just want to get to the reveal. I hear ya, I feel ya. Thank you for joining me. And sages, if you'd like to close the eyes, releasing the race and the rush, take a few deep breaths. The whole world is moving so fast, and it is here. We can gaze to gain. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support for the Sagittarius energy. Sages, when you're ready, scrunching for the crease of creation to see what steps forward in our multidimensional mirror. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Like, share, subscribe. Okay. Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for your mid-month of November. Inspired by, but not solely held to. There we go. I'm just going to get rid of some of that. Okay, there we go. Sagittarius, here is your mid-November ink blot. If you'd like to take a screenshot, to scry on your own time and terms and see what stands out for you. Sages, thank you for holding space so I can share my insights and empathically explore. And I'm going to dig in. Sagittarius. There is an owl that flies with words spoken. I feel like somebody might be into like creative speaking or a public speaker of some sorts, like Sagittarius, like stepping up with this wisdom of sorts. Or maybe you're starting to, if it's not already your, what is that weird word I just, your foothole? No, that's not it. Something like forte, but I heard a weird word for it. Wheelhouse. Foothold. If it's not already your wheelhouse. There is protective nature. I feel like there's fog or smog around you, Sagittarius. I'm not sure if you have placed it there. It's kind of like a smoke machine. You know what I mean? Like, it's not thick and it's not like a dense thing. I wonder if it's thoughts or just simply the air around you right now. And again, I'm trying to discern and decide as I'm feeling into it. Is this purposeful? Like activated by the sage for protection or for peering? Or is this how you're feeling right now? I'm also seeing those birds that are transforming in front of me. They're gnawing at, I don't know if it's like a salt stick or something, but they're gnawing at something. It could be something about teeth, sages, like, I don't know, just something about teeth. Because that's where they are. Like, I don't know if they're like flossing. I don't know. Okay, what do we got over here? I'm seeing, so in this fog, smog, smoke machine, moat, I'm going to kind of lean into it as a moat. When I get to a particular point, there's like an old signpost, and they both have arrows going the same way. Just go that way. Just go that way. But what's interesting about that is if you go that way and follow it, it's like there's a wisdom of, let's see if I can share this with you. Okay. So say I follow it. It's like all the beaches are that way. So say somebody just follows it and they goes that way. And they kind of go out of your aura, right? This aura. But then right in here, it's like those who come forward with a purity of And this doesn't mean they're perfect. There's something in their vibration or there's something in their intention that you're willing to discuss, meet, talk, integrate, converse. There's a whole lot of ideas here with the sages. They just kind of come right in through this open hole. Like there's in the break in this boundary. If they are of like a kindness. For simplicity's sake, I'll say kindness. Like if you want to play with them is how I'm hearing it. If sages want to play with you and not in a weird way, like take advantage. This is again of a particular purity of the heart. But when I'm in the heart, I'm in like pink spaces. So it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, just playful and earnest. Everyone else, the beach you're looking for, the sage that you're looking for is that way. And they blindly follow this smog of sorts. So maybe it's just a protective boundary. Sorry, sages, for the blank time. It's not intentional to be less than, but it is part. Take a deep breath with me. Gaze. Truly mean it when we say release the race and the rush, right? I'm seeing seaweed. And my wood just magically moved by itself. So maybe something about the nutrients of seaweed. And I'm also like way, 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 way up. And so say I was in the air of, okay, so as I'm like looking face down and I see your fog smog veil. But if I was to rise on up and it became like 3D, those clouds, your coverage, and like it parts. And now I'm looking at land masses that have, I don't think it's petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, geoglyphs maybe. So somewhere in the land, there are symbols and shapes of different creatures. One could be more like I don't even know what they are. Okay, I'll be truly honest. I don't know what they are. Maybe a buffalo. Could be a turtle, but it's not a traditional turtle. So I'm assuming it's some sort of reptile I may not be familiar with. Could be even in like the lizard land, or, you know, I just don't know enough of them. And then there's some sort of bird. There's some sort of bird. Okay, buffalo, bird, and then a reptile. Okay, so maybe those three areas mean something to you. And as you part the clouds for me to see, now I can see the shape of these. But if I was on the ground, I wouldn't notice them, because it would just be like a gradual grading of the land and of the earth. Maybe birds with messages of wisdom. And whatever this reptile is goes in water and land. If that's helpful in any sort of way. And I apologize for I don't think it's supposed to be clear. It's just kind of giving me a hint of where your awareness is. It's a little bit broader. It's a little bit bigger. Something has been severed very, very clearly. There might have been a creative idea or a communion of some sorts that was drilled down into, like a really long drill. Really long drill. Okay, so I'm going to follow the other rabbit hole as instructed and inspired. It was either severed or fully committed to. And you drilled down into it. It's one or the other. there's hidden things, sages. I don't know what you're working on, but there's hidden things. You got a lot of, I want to say secrets, but it doesn't feel secretive. It's just almost as if, like say you go to work and you're a data person, or you go to work and you're, you know, whatever the case may be. Maybe you're a CEO. Maybe, you work at Tim Hortons. I feel like that doesn't matter. That is something that you present to the world as a part of the collective, and you do the task, you interact with the community. But then sages have something else going on. And I'm seeing it like this, like information in, information out. Something with your eyes, in and out. I don't know if it feels like you're like collecting things with your eyes. And that's the important part, like information, inspiration, inquiry, like you're inquisitive about things. But it's like nobody really knows that you're inquisitive about these things. So maybe you're working at Subway and you're making sandwiches, but you have all these colors. So there's lots of color therapy around. And as you're interacting with the public, as an example, and they say, okay, I want lettuce and tomatoes and onions and pickles. It's like the sages have some secret source of something, and they are putting the colors together and have a different understanding or an added understanding of what this color combination can do for you. What can this color combination do for you? Like the frequencies of it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to flip it to win it here, sages. I hope that made sense in a very roundabout way. I didn't mean to blabber on about it, but I felt very grateful for that. Like I felt grateful that, say, the person stirring my coffee, or the CEO running the building, or the legal assistant that was going through more information, knew more, knows more, has a different perspective, has an alternative perspective, even though it may not be shown and said, but I'm very grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Like the person who stirred my coffee was like, have a great day. Like that's nice. Some sort of infusion of your interconnected nature. Okay, so there's, I don't know if it's Stonehenge, but something along that line, sages. With double doors. Double doors made of stone. Somebody's cleaning something. Like, I don't know if it's patio doors or these wisdoms where there's things scribed on it. Almost like gravestones, if I may. Cleaning them up. Remembering the information. Could even just simply be patio doors to have clarity. Somebody might even be a cleaner. Again, it's interesting. What seems so mundane, there might be something in this position. I'm not concerned with what my title is. I know what I'm doing beyond the mundane. You have to slide things in, right? The beach is that way. Everyone's going that way. And you're like, okay, yeah. But only the few will find, not the loophole, but this very obvious opening. But they're concerned about maybe reaching a title. And maybe that's where you're at. And I'm not trying to dismiss that if that's how it's coming off. I realize that could have been a little insincere. If you are going for the gold, reaching for a goal to say, I don't want to just be a cleaner, I want to be the manager. Or if I'm working at Subway and I want to own my own franchise. Because you understand what you're infusing in there, what you're adding to it. And then there's this, maybe so it's just you're working in essence versus ego, saying, I want to own franchises, and I don't really care. I just, want other people to do the work for me, and I want to make the money off it. You see what I'm saying? Like sages have this, if you're goal oriented in this aspect of evolution, it's because you know what you're adding to it. And somebody might say, I'm going to go get coffee from them or coffee from them. And I'm going to go there because there's just something about it, you know, something in it. Speaking to their soul. You care about something. But if it's just egotistical drive, it just has a different journey, right? Just has a different journey. And it's felt by those who assume that. I feel like I really rambled on there, sages, so I hope that is proven in some way, shape, or form valuable, getting through those yammerings. There's a really tall tree. I don't know if it's been burnt or simply is a tower. That's interesting. It's a tower that appears to be a tree. And this is kind of indicative of what, so it's right in there. But see how there's this pink in here? And we were just talking about how like the sages are secretly infusing things. Secret not being a bad thing. It's almost like it's blatantly there. If someone is sensitive to sensing you've infused, and I'm staying on the positive realm of this, I've infused this ink with, say, Reiki energy, right? As an example. Or you have infused this ink with protective intentions, right? Those who are sensitive beyond the ego to sense that will buy yours, will step forward to you, want to work for your company, etc., want to promote you, want to have a relationship with you. If they are not, it's here nor there anyway. So it's no point to waste your time wondering why. So it's like the tree. It looks like a tree. And if a person wants it to be, knock on wood, just a tree, it's just a tree. But for those who are tuned in, the tree is also a tower and it's communicating. Okay, I'm going to start adding on some tarot and oracle here. What an adventure. As I'm still gazing in the switch here for an alternative perspective, like, share, subscribe. Links below to help a gal grow. And if you want we're going over there. If you would like a personal Rorschach in a reading, now on Fever. There's different options as well. Thank you. So this tree tower, twofold dimensional thing is of the higher self, while the patio doors of sorts are from the human aspect, and they're merging. It's the density to higher dimension, the human, the higher self. That's fine. Somebody with a very particular kind of nose could be you. I don't know if this is a compliment, but somebody, I'm like just hearing it, sometimes they think that you're two-faced. And not that if I wander to the negative rabbit hole of secretly infusing things, and it was of the negative aspect and two-faced negative aspect in the ego, so on and so forth. Perhaps those are all variations you're working to swing on, so it's not so much of that. Or on the alternative side, that's where you're at right now, and you're learning or wanting to come out of that own fog of being manipulative. But I'm really sensing from the strongest sages collective energy, this is very positive, and of being of service, listening for truths came out. Some people will put their ear up to the shell to hear, and some people will say it's just a shell. Why do I care? And the sages are listening. They're listening to what the people say without saying a darn thing. So you're not two-faced. It's just that you might have some people that you interact with in one realm and some the other. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. Some people, sage it, and you know this. It's like the double doors. It's the patio doors. Some you interact with mind, meat suit mind only, and other people it's hearts, their holistic heart or their higher mind. And you're kind of working beyond in this whole scope of this. It's one. It's with you already. It's one. What is already with you? You're just choosing. Human, ego, higher self, essence, and you're bringing it together and sharing it. And how beautiful is that? It all comes to life. You are pain, and I heard the song like it's a whole new world for you, and not because it's new. I think sages, you're getting a hold of it. And as I was quickly chatting, the tree tower thing reminds me of your bow and arrow, because it's sharing love. That's the frequency. It's even kindness. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Underneath that, I'm also seeing like somebody like doing leaps and bounds of it's a very odd totem. It's almost like it's meant to look natural, but with a particular site, we'll see this sage. There's something special about this sage. All right, closing out for the Sagittarius collective in this mid-November, we have Barmbrack, sweetness and synergy. This is what you're giving out, hopefully also to yourself. If this is in relation to self-care, hopefully to yourself. And then we have here the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. This is what you're doing is in this world, what you're adding to the world. And it's so funny how I really sometimes should just say what I see versus trying to think, oh, okay, so the jumping person, what I was seeing is right there, a witch making leaps and bounds. And then the witch card comes out. Because the weaver of the worlds, human mind, higher mind, comes to life. Also, hangman is a thing. Not hangman because you're hung up, but it's almost like now you can see if I'm hanging by my feet down, I can do some work. Like almost like a mechanic. You have to slide under the car, get a different perspective to do work up here. And then sometimes you'll be looking over the engine and doing work down here. Does that make sense? Okay. Truly closing out for the sages. Thank you for joining me for this story. And I got to admit, it's been quite fascinating, and I am truly honored. Black Cat, fortune meets opportunity. You are protected. And there's those eyes. And so you have the witch and the black cat. The witch and the black cat. There is some sort of magic and synergy of yourself and soul, of your soul and your spirit, of your spirit and oversoul, like esoteric to exoteric, the whole kit and caboodle. Your arrows are sent out, and any emotional rats are being released, and you are sending arrows out of kindness and love. Whether people know it or not, you are truly being of service. All right, sages, it has been my honor. Thank you. And until next time, thanks for scrying.